And we're live.
You're listening to the Level Best Network.
This is the INTERCOT Insider Live, episode 150. Woohoo! We've reached a milestone. The INTERCOT Insider Live is brought to you by Magical Journeys, the Disney vacation experts. Talk to Nancy and the crew over there. They've got some good stuff going on, including 2023 bookings open today for hotel stays, packages, and everything. Call Magical Journeys today or drop them a line on their website, Facebook page, whatever you use. Smoke signals, anything, something. Talk to them. They've been our sponsor for most of our 25 years online. With me tonight, we've got C.A. Carolyn.
Does it say C.A. Carolyn? Because on mine, it's a little Canada flag and then my name.
Yeah,
it's C.A. Carolyn.
C.A. Carolyn.
Oh, really? Oh, it looks good to me. All right. Well, the C.A. stands for Canada.
Right. We figured that one out. So representing at least half the nation of Canada tonight, Carolyn, and in the sweet retro Walt Disney World Florida sweatshirt. Digging that.
Yes.
It's sweet.
That is cool. Is that new?
I think I got it maybe before Christmas in that vault shop on Main Street, USA.
I would classify that as relatively new.
It even says like 1971 opening.
Opens October 70. So it's part of that whole retro collection, like that. They have some pre-opening stuff, and they have the most amazing game from when I was a kid, the one that has the monorail that actually you have the board game.
Is that an old game? I thought it was a new thing.
No. So didn't mean to get derailed so quickly before I even introduced Ian. Hi, Ian. Yeah. No, that game from when I was a kid. My brother and I wanted that so bad. My parents actually got that for us. It has like a monorail that you kind of fold up. You do like the insert tab A into tab B and do the whole thing, and then the monorail scoots around the top of the game board. It's like on a little track.
What is the game? Is it like a game of life?
I couldn't even tell you. I have no idea at this point.
Like the little cardboard.
I just wanted the little monorail that went on the top of the board. But I would guess it's something like life, but I don't know. Somebody maybe can tell us what they remember.
Yeah, we looked at that, and I looked at a whole bunch of, I guess they call them like change trays now, but it's like the old ashtrays, but it's like
change trays.
Yeah.
No.
It doesn't have the little cutouts where your cigarette would sit, but it's just like a little plate. I was looking at all those. They're super cute.
Change tray.
But I ended up with just the sweatshirt.
I like the sweatshirt. Anyway, I mean, I didn't mean to derail, but I was just noticing that it was very nice. Also from Central Florida, right next to Disney, Mr. Ian. How are you this evening?
Good, Mr. John and Miss Carolyn. How are you? Carolyn, I must say you're looking radiant this evening, by the way.
Radiant.
She looks like that.
I should not wash my hair more often.
You look radiant as well.
My wife says
you've got almost this like I can't think of the actress's name, but there's like this. You got this. There's a vibe going on.
Wow. Ian, I think you know what the funny thing is when we connected tonight, I was thinking she looked like the headshot that the black and white headshot that you have. That is it's an awesome picture.
From my work.
Yeah, the work headshot.
Yeah.
That was it.
Okay,
So
we'll just keep this part going on the podcast. Everyone chime in. Oh,
yes,
you,
Jimmy says very
perfect. So what else about me do you want to talk about?
And now she's blushing too.
Your shirt, your radiance, your bubbly personality.
Well, I think you boys are very radiant as well.
You're radiant.
Boys.
As always.
Oh my God.
Radiant.
Oh, it's good to be with you all after, I don't know, it's probably been about a month and a half or so. Yeah, it's summer. real life gets in the way.
Sure.
Unlike some of these websites, this is not our full-time job. So, we kind of have to get everybody together as we can. So, but even that being said, episode 150, that means we are still going strong 12 years later. We started in October of 2010.
Just the podcasting.
The podcast. Yeah. And the website.
You want to hear something that'll tell you how long we've been going. I only had 2 kids when we started this podcast.
And now he's got 20.
304.
304. How many kids do you have now?
4. I actually only have 4. I only had 2 back then.
It's the running joke on the podcast. But yeah, no, it's been going on that long. And of course, the website celebrating 25 years of being online this October, which Carolyn was asking earlier, tickets are on sale now for our event, which, if you don't have them, like Ian, you might want to get them at Planet Hollywood. So basically, we're going to have a get together and plus a few days worth of events on a weekend in October. Somebody give me the dates.
October 14th to 17th.
I knew Carolyn would have it.
Oh, I'm all over it.
And the Planet Hollywood thing is on the
Saturday night, I believe.
The 16th. Is that right? Or is it the 15th?
Oh, come on, Paul.
It is Saturday night. Yeah. Whatever
that
day
would be
that
the
is.
16th.
Okay. Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring together all the folks who love INTERCOT, whether you're a new member, an old member, somebody that follows us on social media, on the TikToks, whatever. Come on along. And it's a ticketed event. And it'll include a couple drinks and some food and blah blah blah. So
frivolity.
Oh,
so
and
it's the whole
and
weekend.
tchotchkes. Yeah,
you left out the best part: amazing camaraderie.
Oh,
well, I mean, I figured that was obvious.
You yada over the best part, John.
Right.
No, I mentioned the bisque.
You get to hang out with all of us. And it'll be fun.
So it's a whole weekend of little meetups, and you're not obligated to go to any of them. These ones just are there'll be things at the parks, okay, we're all gonna ride this ride together at 2:00, so meet up there and pack the ride full of INTERCOTees. And then on the Saturday night, the Saturday night is just the ticketed event. So that's something that you got to shell out for. But the rest of the time, if you're going to be at the parks, come and join us.
Yeah, and that is the point. So for the most part, everything is free other than the fact that you need to have your own admission, obviously, to get into the parks. But bottom line beyond that is that, you can join us without paying anything except for that one special event.
So the whole itinerary, so once we're able to make park reservations, the whole itinerary is on intercot.com, right on the main page. You can get all the information there. And look at that big group. What year was that one?
That was the 10. So that was our 10th anniversary. I think, I mean, I could be wrong. There were somewhere in the neighborhood of 125 to 150 people there at that time.
You know what, John? That was kind of the core crowd. There were some folks that kind of drifted in and out. People that were maybe locals, or some people whose whole trip didn't necessarily overlap. I mean, there were a lot of folks there.
And then there's that one as well, and that was
that was the 15th.
Oh no, that's the 15th because I see a Yeti shirt in there.
Yeah, the Yeti is down.
And that was
Still
those
relevant.
are just the people that went to that morning ticketed event.
Yep.
But there was more people. We crammed up. It's a Small World. We had so many boats just crammed with INTERCOT people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the bottom line is that these were folks that showed up for a ticketed event, but the point is that you don't have to do that. You can definitely just show up for things like scavenger hunts or group rides or whatever it may be, and just hang out with us, which would be cool. We'd love to meet you. So that is happening. right now, get your tickets. You can go to the INTERCOT Facebook page. It's pinned to the top up there, or you can go to the homepage of the website, and that has the tickets and link to Eventbrite, and also the schedule of events that is preliminary at this point. But
Jimmy Horn wants to know that to know if I'll be there with all my radiance, Jimmy. I will be there. Yes. Actually, I feel like I met Jimmy before you did, John.
Really?
Because I know you just met him at that Guardians thing recently, which we're going to talk about.
That would be a fantastic segue.
But I was standing next to him at like the Star Wars fireworks or something, and I was talking to you, and it was like, oh, Jimmy, this guy Jimmy's beside me, and yeah, so I met him a long time ago.
So speaking a long time ago, Juliana posted, just looked at my join date on INTERCOT, 6/28/2001.
Happy 21st anniversary.
Your INTERCOT membership is able to drink now.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And
go to Jelly Rolls with us if we manage to stay late.
She joined the year of the INTERCOT Odyssey.
Yes, she did.
2001 and INTERCOT Odyssey.
INTERCOT Odyssey. Yeah. That was my first meet, actually.
I know. That's awesome.
Can you believe that? This site has been around since like the 90s. Like
97.
I joined in 98. Yeah. I don't remember
so crazy.
When, but I joined in 98. Yeah.
The internet was a much different place in 1997, let me tell you. But yeah, we were, again, one of the first people using discussion boards, which were the forerunner to all the social media that you see nowadays. So even though now we're more on probably social media than anywhere else, the site still is there. And there's still a core group of people that post on a regular basis. So
we love
yes,
them.
We do love them. So anyway, yeah, that is coming up. Mark your calendar, be there or be square. Join us down in Orlando at Walt Disney World for our 25th anniversary. That'll be a lot of fun. So
I have been to every one of these, and I tell you, I have never had, they're some of the best events I've ever attended. They're just an absolute blast. If you haven't made one, try and I know it's hard, but try and make it, because we have such a good time. We really do.
100% true. It just, you end up meeting new people and sharing new experiences, and you're going to take home things that you'll talk about for years. No doubt.
I ended up on the podcast because I met you guys at the 2015 ones. So.
How about that?
Look at me now.
Look at me now.
Look where I've gotten myself.
I'm radiant.
Juliana online says, crazy, isn't it? I know I stalked the boards before joining. Ian, I met you at a meet in KOP at
King of Prussia.
Maggiano's.
Yeah. King of Prussia, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the other thing. We used to do meetups outside of like regional meetups in Baltimore. We did one in New Jersey at a mall.
We went to like the Disney outlet or something. I remember doing.
We used to meet at like the Disney store.
Fun.
I know.
It was actually kind of, I mean, it was great catch, connecting. I mean, what's interesting is that like, and I remember that meet. I still have pictures of it. My daughter was like a little, my daughter who is now 20 was like a little baby. Actually, you know who else was there? Redheaded Mel was there, and I believe she actually had Sam with her.
Yep.
Wow.
That's how long ago that was. So,
I will say, back then it was a little creepy.
Yeah,
you did.
I mean, I remember the first time I decided
you weren't really sure, right?
I was sort of like, like this could go badly. I'm going to meet a bunch of people that I've never met in person before. But John, I kind of knew that I wasn't going to have any problem getting along with you because we're from the same place, and
literally the same high school.
We were figured we had enough in common that worst case scenario, you and I would be able to hang out and without issue. So, and who knew? Here we are, 25 years later, and you're one of my best friends on earth. So,
well,
you never know
thank you.
Right
back at you, buddy. So, did you see Heather has a Disney outlet in Rehoboth also was at Maggiano's.
What's Maggiano's? A restaurant?
It's an Italian restaurant. It's
Oh,
like a
okay.
chain.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Yeah, it's food, right? Italian, yeah.
Food,
Yeah.
yes.
All over.
Slightly
Anyway, yeah.
better
So
than the chain.
moving on. Indeed, since we last spoke, Guardians of the Galaxy basically open. I was like listening, trying to figure out what all the noise was in the background here. It's just my dog and cat fighting. That's all. Just
Joys of being
stuff going on.
cat parent.
Yeah, exactly. Like all this banging going on. Anyway, so we got invited to the Guardians of the Galaxy press event, and it was a multi-day thing. There's a lot of footage up online and things like that. Definitely, there's a lot on the TikTok, on Facebook, certainly. And then probably a smattering on Twitter and Instagram has some good stuff. So if you're looking to kind of get a flavor for the weekend, it was a lot of fun. I did meet Jimmy Horn for the first time ever.
So that was the highlight, really, of the whole weekend.
Pretty much. We kind of joked that the space-time continuum broke at the point where we met, because there is a multiverse where Jimmy and I now have still never met. But we started a whole new timeline where we actually have met.
You've made a branch.
Yeah, we branched space-time. So we have met now. How know, nerds? Had a really good time hanging out and exploring and trying to figure out everything that was going on. It's all, quite frankly, these press events are always better when you're with somebody to hang out with and stuff like that. And Jimmy was an epic cameraman. And I had a iPhone fail where I decided it was a good idea to download all my programs back to my phone that had been stored in the cloud the day before this went on, which meant as I was filming the first day, my phone kept stopping.
Oh,
Like it ran out of space.
Thinking too much.
Literally ran out of space because all the apps came down and everything that was up in the cloud started downloading to my phone. So I was like, okay, that was really bad move to be doing that then. But yeah, so lesson learned, don't do that, kids, when you're going on an important vacation and you want to document your trip. Don't mess with your settings. But Disney put us up at Grand Destino, where I had never stayed before, which was very cool. I've got a room walkthrough, I think, on the socials, in case you're curious what that looks like. Very nice, very elegant. You could argue maybe not enough Disney if that's what you want, but you know what? I kind of like the very subtle sort of Disney flair to things. So that was nice. The resort is very nice if you're thinking about staying there. It was a typical press event in that we were moving for 2 days straight. This stuff did not stop from the time I landed. By the way, I took Mir's shuttle from the airport
because of Magical Express being done.
Right. Yes. And basically years ago, I swore off doing buses from the airport. And so I figured, you know what, I'll do, because Disney was paying for it. And by the way, this was a hosted event, and they did pay for my stuff. I tried that from the airport, and I will never do it again. I'm just telling you right now. Really, if you don't want to waste time, don't do that.
How long of a wait were you standing at the airport?
We didn't wait too long at the airport. The thing that bugged me the most was, of course, I was the last of 3 resorts being dropped off. So, I mean, it's just, it takes a long time. And I get, certain people, like if you're staying for maybe a longer period of time or whatever, maybe you just don't care and it's fine and you're not in a hurry. But like I was only going to be there 2.5, 3 days, whatever total. And I was getting in, and I hoped to get in order to do stuff in the afternoon. And it was just like, it was agony for me. Plus, I just don't like buses. I'm not a huge fan of buses in general.
Well,
what's that?
In a nice tie-in with some news that came out today, the next time you visit the Walt Disney World Resort, you could avail yourself of the Minivan Service, which is returning June 29th.
Right.
Sweet, delicate flow, Ian.
I know. Wow. That was like slipstreamed. Just right in under the. Yeah, I know. There's our hair was blowing in the breeze just because that was so well.
Wow.
I thought that was a pretty delicate.
That was.
Yes, so minivans are back if you want to take that route, which is more or less a fancy Uber.
Yeah, but
you
I mean,
book it
for
through
me,
the Lyft app, but yeah.
I mean, normally I would rent a car. So, and I've heard there've been some problems with that too, with people waiting for cars and inventory and things like. So, who knows? I mean, maybe I don't know what your best bet is right now. Roll the dice, people, and figure it out because I'm not really sure.
I mean, the minivans are actually really great. We used them a bunch of times before, and it's a really smooth service. It's a little bit more expensive than like an Uber or a Lyft, but it's kind of worth it. Like they tend to staff the service with drivers who are pretty knowledgeable about the resort, so they'll give you like some commentary. Most of them, at least the ones I had, really love talking about Disney and the resort. So especially if you're on your way in and you're kind of anxious to get your vacation started, it's kind of a cool way to get in the mode, if you will,
so
right out of
how do you book that through the Lyft app?
Yeah,
but like, is it like a choice of car? Like
because of geography,
it's geofenced.
Yeah. Oh. So it's geofenced. So if you're in the area where they service, you'll get minivans as an option.
So you can
like Uber, Lyft, or whatever that.
You can take that from the airport, though. Definitely.
Yes, yeah, they'll do it from the airport. I don't know what it costs now. They used to do it used to be a flat like $25, and they would just sort of take you wherever you wanted to go, which was a little silly because if you wanted to go around the corner, it wasn't very cost effective.
Right.
But now I know they charge differently. It's more like an actual true Uber or Lyft style pricing. So anyway, we're kind of excited they're coming back. They're just fun to see around. They've been sitting in the parking lot kind of morosely collecting dust for the last
on all their polka dots
years. So.
Jimmy also says it's good if you need a car seat or have an ECV, because it's hard to find a Lyft or an Uber that has car seats for kids. So
it's true.
Yeah, they're all ready to handle those kinds of things.
So coming back into the story, we get to the resort, and I'm late already. Basically we've got an evening event coming up, and we've got to also get to the Contemporary to do content gathering. I mean, literally pretty much dropped my bags, grabbed my gear, and headed out to the another bus, to the Contemporary, where we did some interviews, some pictures, and things like that. We got to learn about Magic Band Plus, which is coming, and kind of the uses for that, which are interesting. They're going to be tying some of that into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and doing some interactive adventures with your.
But again, they're not giving out Magic Bands when you check in at your hotel anymore, right? So Magic Bands now are just extra.
Bring them with you or buy them. Okay. Right. But the Magic Band Pluses are going to be interactive. Again, there's some video on the socials, but they light up, they buzz, kind of think Pal Mickey on your wrist, and or those little 100 Years of Magic pins, if you guys remember those, that used to light up and stuff when you'd go under an archway or something magical was happening. So, I mean, essentially, this is kind of the evolution of that. And then the other thing we also learned about was Hey Disney, which is the Amazon Echo thing that's coming to all the resort rooms that that looks like a little Mickey Mouse and has little ears on it.
But essentially, it's like, hey Siri or hey Google, I want to know what time the fireworks are tonight.
It's more like, yeah, exactly.
TNT fireworks is at
Which,
Thanks for checking in.
Whose house was that? Was that Ian's?
Mm-hmm, that was me. Yeah, that was mine.
The difference is it's tied into the A word.
That wasn't even my A word. That was the B word.
Oh, she even recognized what I was saying. Cancel. Oh,
and
now she's gonna go.
They're just trying to get in on we got 2 people. That's it. You can't get in.
So you're gonna say "Hey Disney" as the keyword, and then that'll activate your personal assistant in the room and things like that. The nice thing, though, too, is you can bring the experience home, but I have a feeling it's going to be like a subscription service, like a $1 or $2 a month or something like that. And Jimmy's saying the Magic Band Plus will also interact with the Hey Disney once enabled.
Is that really what it's called, Hey Disney? Or is that just what you say, but it's called the
No, it's
Magic Mickey or something?
Called Hey Disney.
No.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't name it.
I
didn't do it.
So anyway,
so they taught you all about that.
They taught us all about that, and then we had kind of a get together, an event, and got ready for the next day, essentially, where we were told we needed to get up super early because they were going to be making some announcements, which essentially related to some new artwork for Epcot, and that showed a little more of what was going on in the park, the things being added, some more detail in the front of the park, where they're essentially going to have some staging areas to be able to do things like concerts or other kinds of things. So that kind of stuff. And again, that's all in the socials. You can check those out from that day. And then moved on to Guardians, where then we had interview opportunities set up, both inside and out. And we got to start exploring the ride and the queue and the whole 9 yards. And
just so that everybody's clear, it's called Guardians of the Galaxy
Cosmic Rewind.
And it's in the building that used to be Universe of Energy at Epcot.
Correct. Only now it's that building and then a huge show building behind that building. I mean, it's the coaster that is in there is a Omni Coaster, which essentially, so if y'all are familiar with an Omni Mover, like at the Haunted Mansion, which rides on a track and essentially turns your vehicle.
Chair, like, oh, we want you to look this way, so the whole thing turns this way.
Yeah. So an Omni Coaster. Jimmy's complaining that I skipped the party of it in Indiana Jones stunt show. Okay. I mean that's kind of inside baseball stuff, but there's nothing really interesting there. But yeah. Okay. Anyway, Omni Coaster. Omni Coaster essentially is a roller coaster that, like an Omni Mover, can face you in the direction that they want to show you. Let me tell you, first of all, okay, if you don't want spoilers, then whatever, tune out.
Sure, yes. Mute volume for the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to describe it. No matter how well I describe it, it will not actually do justice to the ride. Ian's been on it too, right? Okay.
Yeah, I wrote it on an AP preview.
Okay. So bottom line, I've never experienced anything quite like what I felt on that ride. And I don't think it was extremely turbulent. There weren't any huge hills on the ride. It's incredibly smooth. And because of the fact that they're turning you and making you face things and moving you in certain directions, I didn't get nauseated like the way you might get on a bigger roller coaster or a spinny ride or something like that. In fact, throughout the day, I rode that ride 6 times. So, and before I was like, you know what, I better take a break. Is it what?
Is it particularly fast, or is it just because you're going along and then like, oh, look over here and look?
It moves at a good clip. I don't know what the official MPH or KPH in your land
Canada
is.
thanks you.
Yeah,
Kilometers per hour.
But yeah, the bottom line is that it moves. It really does move. I mean, it's not quite the launch of Rock and Roller Coaster, but the beginning of the ride's pretty good.
But it is backwards.
It is backwards. So that kind of, and when we say backwards, it's like, again, the vehicles can turn backwards or forward. So at some point you kind of lose the idea of.
There is really, it's like being in outer space. There is no backwards or forwards or up. You just sort of like going with the flow. Yeah. Very smooth.
And so, I mean, rode from the last row and the front row and the middle, and I didn't really have any preferences. There are those that are saying that like the middle offers you the best view of the show. There are some that say the back's the best, some that say the front's the best.
We were pretty much smack in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I honestly was wondering, like looking around, trying to figure out, if I wanted to be somewhere else, because that's just what I do.
Yep.
I don't know. Perspective is hard, but you move through the scenes. Everybody goes through the scenes sort of in the same way. I suppose you might be in a slightly different rotational spot at some point, but I mean, I think,
your axis of rotation.
Is there a height requirement? Like how tall do kids have to be to get on this?
I think it's 48 inches, I think.
48?
I'm pretty sure. 42,
so
48?
It's bigger than...
I'm pretty sure.
I bet you that's something we can Google.
Yeah, I'm guessing that somebody can do that while we keep talking.
3 feet, 6 inches. So what's that? 42 inches, right?
Is that it?
Yeah. It's
oh my God, my phone is set to metric. 1.07 meters. Even I don't know how big that is.
Also, for the speed question, they don't. The actual speed is not published, but the estimates are that it probably tops out around 30 miles an hour,
which is Space Mountain's like 23, 27, 26.
It slots pretty neatly in between Space Mountain and Slinky Dog Dash, so it's probably.
So kids would like this. 35. So 42 inches. That's not like that's short. That's little kids. They can go on it.
Yeah. So
hit the nail on the head. The song is a much bigger difference maker than the location in the car, I think.
Yeah. So all right, 6 songs are on there. Earth, Wind, and Fire's September. Mm-hmm. The Tramps, Disco Inferno.
Oh, I would like that one.
That was
It's not my favorite.
The Miami Sound Machines, Conga, least favorite.
Oh, no way. Come on, Gloria Estefan.
Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Iran from Flock of Seagulls. Yep. And Blondie's One Way or Another.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So now, beyond the song being different on each ride, does anything else change? Like, I know the ride in California that the Guardians do that used to be the Tower of Terror. Every time when you get a different song, like maybe the story is a little bit different, like what they say.
I think the experience is the same. It's just the soundtrack.
Yep.
Hey, Nicole, just real quick. Nicole, I see your question. We'll answer that for you in just a second.
Yes, we'll come back to that.
That's Nicole. I work with her.
Okay, yeah, and so we'll come back to that. Definitely.
What do you think of your Disney advice?
So I think what Ian. Here's the thing. I said this too before. I think when I did my little review is that I don't know what the dialogue was on the ride. I was so busy jamming to the songs. Like literally when I got September and Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and I ran. I got every one except for Conga, by the way, which I was perfectly fine with. But we came down to the last ride, and it was like, I don't want to do another one. I want Disco Inferno. I want Disco Inferno. I want Disco Inferno. Got on it. Burn, baby, burn. I was so excited. But bottom line is there's dialogue going on while those songs are happening. And, all the characters from the movie are talking about what's going on. I have zero idea of any of the dialogue.
I have to be honest. I'm not like, I've never seen any of the MCU movies, and I've never watched Guardians. So
which is just
the sort of plot thing. I didn't.
Yeah, I know. He has, ladies and gentlemen, he has not seen It's a Wonderful Life either.
Okay, neither have I.
I will die.
Oh my God, both of you.
Stick it to you, Yablinski.
Both. Yeah, on his gravestone, it's going to be. I
never watched it.
I never watched It's a Wonderful.
Suck it, John Yablinski.
Suck it.
Anyway, I don't know what the.
Well, that's fine though. Like you still enjoyed it, and that means that you don't have to know anything about Marvel movies to enjoy the ride. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that. Look, let's be real. The story is just sort of a wrapper around a super fun, coaster. I mean, and it's unique. It's a very unique ride. It's fun.
It absolutely fantastic. Probably it has to be my favorite roller coaster at this point. It just because of the way it combines the coaster elements with the Omni mover stuff, and it's in the dark and it's long, and just the movements as you're going through, and the track and
things flying past.
Yeah, and the sound is just enveloping. It's like those songs are inside your head when you're on there, and you'll see when you're
it's very much it's like it's like almost like penetrates you when you go there. It's just a very sort of
keep it clean there.
Leave it clean. That way, watching.
Ian, we don't work blue, son.
It's not that kind of podcast.
It's not that kind of podcast.
Background's blue, but the podcast isn't. No, it is. It's like really like just pounding. It's very cool. As a guy who loves music loud, like
we continuing with that. Heather says it's her favorite ride for sure. Jimmy says best.
I don't know about all that, but it's a good ride for sure. It's a very good ride.
Yeah.
Annual pass holder previews is how you got in, Ian, to see it. I was there a week, like during annual pass holder previews, but I couldn't go because I didn't know I was going to be on the trip, so I didn't book a spot for myself.
Oh.
John, you got to see it because of the media thing, but now it's free and clear, open to anybody to ride, and it's using the virtual queue. So that means first thing in the morning, 7 a.m., get on your phone and hit the button until you get locked in. And they give you like an hour to 2 hours, like how they were doing with the Star Wars ride. It's like come back between 1 and 3, and that's your ride time today.
Yep.
And that's not like you got to pay for the individual lightning lane or anything like that. It's just
a
your
queue.
time.
Well, you can do that too. I mean, there is a paid lightning lane option for sure.
Is it open, the paid part?
Yeah.
Heather says that the virtual queue is not as hard to get as Rise of the Resistance.
Actually,
was.
news like this week it's actually been, I wouldn't say easy to get, but like attainable to get a queue spot.
I think they were doing a thing where like you can try at 7 in the morning. If you don't get a spot then they open up more spots at like 1 o'clock. You can try again. And Lightning Lane is available if you can't get virtual queue. So if you are desperate to get on the ride, you can just purchase a spot that day.
So you can find the reaction videos right after I wrote it. So you get a pretty honest review, which was my first take, just coming off of it and saying what I thought about it. And then to Jimmy's point, I did ride the ride 6 times, and before I decided I needed a break. And then we did a John Tries segment on a Fruit Loops shake, which was right near Test Track.
I don't think I would care for it.
Okay. Do you know how Fruit Loops is spelled?
Yes.
Froot.
You did know
about this the other day. Actually.
Yeah, because it's got a rhyme with loops.
Yeah. Okay. I honest to God did not know that. Oh. I was that many years old that day.
Just follow your nose.
8 years old when I found out.
When I thought it was fruit, like Fruit. I mean,
follow your nose. It always knows.
I'm aware of Toucan Sam and the whole marketing of it. Apparently, I just never read the box. Like I thought. Anyway, very good was the thing. But
really,
check out.
That would be gross.
Yeah,
was there chunks of Fruit Loops in it?
You're going to have to watch the review.
Okay.
So I will say John's review was a little more lukewarm than he's sort of letting on.
It was good though. Yeah, no.
All that.
I was somewhere in the high 6s to 7 range out of 10.
6.
Yeah, 6 points something. Yeah.
I'll let my kids try it and I'll have a sip.
Look, I mean,
want a whole one.
I think in the end I said it's a milkshake. How bad can it be? I mean, it's a milkshake. So it was pretty good. So, but it wasn't mind blowing or anything, but reasonably priced though, I thought, which was another thing. So yeah, rumbling onto the reasonably priced thing. And I think I said this to Ian recently that is it me or is just everything else getting so expensive that some things in Disney seem reasonably priced right now? Because I mean, I'm trying to figure this out. Like there were a couple things I came across recently, from my Epcot jacket that I bought, which I was like, oh, well, I can't believe it. That's that price for that. That's pretty good. I'm going to buy that, especially with my discount. And then I would have bought the Star-Lord jacket that I have as my profile picture on Facebook because it looked fantastic. And it was like, I don't know, $90 some odd. And I thought, well, that's actually not a bad price for that. And then, the Fruit Loop shake, it was like $3 something. And I was like, that's not that bad for a milkshake. And I'm like, what's happening to me?
Reasonable.
You're not wrong. Like we went to Blizzard Beach, we went to Typhoon Lagoon. I don't know if it was like a week ago or something, maybe a little bit longer. And there were 6 of us, and we went and got lunch. And like the food. I don't know if anybody's been to Typhoon Lagoon there, but the food's actually good, like shockingly good, as a matter of fact, especially considering some of the other quick serve options on property. Typhoon Lagoon's food isn't bad. They have like a really tasty like rice bowl that my daughter got, and like the burgers are good. Like so, their food's pretty solid. And like for 6 of us all to eat, and I mean, it was all everybody got an entree and drinks. Yep. It was like $68, and I was like, wow,
that doesn't seem bad.
For 6 people,
we spent like $52 at Chick-fil-A today. So it's. I think you're right, John. I think everything else is getting so
well, actually, speaking of my friend Nicole, that was messaging on this podcast. She was asking about because she's using Magical Journeys as per my recommendation. Awesome. But they're not doing like the dining plan anymore. And I said to her, I'm like, we never use the dining plan because they give you're forced to have like the most common plan is you're forced to have a snack, a quick service, and a table service every day. But some days it's just like, oh, I don't want all this food. Like I don't want a whole table service steak dinner. I'm not that hungry. But if I don't use it, then I lose it, So then you
don't have to use it every day, though. You could have 2 table service meals in one day.
Yeah, but like the table service even has dessert. Like, so we're talking big meals.
I don't think it does anymore, does it?
Yeah,
I think they did away with that a while ago.
Anyways, I was just telling her that I'm like, you're better and it's more cost effective to just pay out of pocket for your food, especially when you have little kids that they don't care if they have a giant table service meal.
Yeah, personally,
if
I
they just
think
want
so.
like a peanut
Yeah.
butter sandwich, then you could have saved a bunch of money.
Yeah, I think it depends on your general eating style. Like when we vacationed in Disney, the dining was always part of like what we wanted to do. You know, we had our favorite restaurants, and we always knew we were going to have probably at least one table service every day anyway. So I would say if you know you're going to eat it, you know, if you're there 7 days and you know you're going to eat 7 table service meals, it might be. I mean, they don't have it anymore anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But if they bring it back, it might be worth looking at. But if your family's not big eaters, it's definitely
No.
a waste.
And in my family, probably Mike is the only one that would want a table service every day. The rest of us are quite fine with chicken nuggies
Grab and go kind of stuff.
Uncrustables peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah,
by the way,
for us, the dining has always been part of it. Like, you know, we like my kids love eating at Tepanito, and we like going to Beaches and Cream, and you know,
so it's
we have like our own little spots. So that's always been part of like our trips. So when we used to go a lot, we always used to get it, and I think it worked for us. But you know, it got, as with everything, it got less and less. You know, when it first started, it was like super cheap. I think it was like $25 a day for an adult, and you got all that plus your tip was included, and it included an appetizer and a dessert. And I don't remember I don't think alcoholic drinks were ever included on the main one, but there was like an option to add them. But by the end, yeah, Jimmy just said it. Like by the end, the appetizers were no longer included. It no longer included the tip, and it was like $65 a day, and you know you didn't get. Like you only got dessert or a drink or something. It was definitely
and well, speaking of things being seemingly reasonably priced, I mean, even a kid's meal, I just get the kids meal. I know you're supposed to be like 12 and under, but like you can get like a whole entree plus like a little thing of grapes and a cookie or fries and carrots or whatever, plus a drink, and it's like $9.
Yeah.
Which, like, when you buy like the adult size entree, there's no drink included in that combo. You got to buy that separate. So I always just get the kids meal.
Yeah, Trish does that a lot. Trish will buy kids meals, you know, because they just suit her appetite more than.
I don't know. Yeah, and then for me,
brings up a good point though about character dining, because you know that it's back now, right? And that is probably not for your family, Carolyn, because your kids are older, but for families with young kids. Character dining is definitely part of the deal. So that's another thing, that the character meals tend to be very expensive.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of them now are 2 credits as opposed to just 1. So
on the dining plan. Yeah. Yeah, no, we still do character dining. I mean, Mike and Owen probably couldn't care less, but Julie and I like to go and have character dining. We like what's the circle turning one? Garden Grill.
Yes.
Yeah.
In Epcot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We like to do that. And yeah, it's like a big expense, but whatever. We do.
It is. See, that's why, like, unless you really want to be with the characters, the markup on the food is significant for the experience of being.
Yeah, but when you have kids,
we did
when
Garden
you have kids,
Grill.
though.
Sorry, John. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, when you have kids, no, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. I know you. No, when you've got young enough kids, and when you have the character experiences, unlike when they were in COVID, when they would actually come up and the hugging and when Pooh would sit at your table at the Garden Grill or whatever and start drawing, pictures.
I know, and when your kids are that age and they're like.
Oh my God!
It's like Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise coming to your table, like, oh my God, I'm starstruck. There's nothing like it.
No.
So yes, that's great for us.
Or
we just maybe do
like, oh my God.
Yeah, or like,
yeah. Well, that's the other way that can go, and it does sometimes too. Unfortunately, but I mean, I wouldn't think twice about doing it at least once and spending the money. By the way, you were talking about Typhoon Lagoon, and I was trying to make a excellent segue in there, and keeping with the delicate flow. But mentioning Typhoon Lagoon, just wanted to let you know that the H2o Glow after hours events are coming back, and they're going to be running every Saturday through August 27th at Typhoon.
Yeah, I think we're going to try and do one of those at some point.
I would love to do that. I think that
Same
would be
here.
so fun. Nighttime at Typhoon Lagoon.
Right?
Because, yeah, like I bet it's all lit up and it's less people, and yeah, I think that would be really fun.
So real quickly, let me circle back to the Guardians Cosmic Rewind. Treasures of Xandar store has some really good retro 80s merchandise that is specific to that store. Not going to find it anywhere else. Was designed to go with a lot of things, either in the ride or with the park. And apparently Star-Lord was, if you get into the storyline, was a big fan of Epcot. He visited it when he was little, and in the queue you'll hear him talking about how he's excited to come back and see Horizons and World of Motion.
And does anybody, I've seen that, but does anybody tell him, like, oh, those rides don't exist anymore, and then he gets all upset?
No, I think it's like one of those things where there's like somebody in the background like and he just keeps droning on and on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of the merch, I will say, very nice, really good stuff. And there are designs that you'll recognize, retro Epcot and the iconography that goes on. There's an interview with, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, on there. Exactly. Carolyn, showing your tattoo for those of you listening. But yeah, definitely. I do a interview with some of the merchandise folks there, and we walk through a lot of it, but there's a lot of exclusive stuff that is coming, and more that was coming after the grand opening, which would be available now. One other thing that was really cool about it, and I won't ruin the surprise, but where you get actually teleported from Earth up to the stratosphere, atmosphere, wherever, space. Very cool effect. And if you have ever been in Vegas about 15 years ago and did the Star Trek experience, it will seem very familiar to you, how you ended up being beamed up on board to the ship itself on the bridge. Yeah.
Xandarian ship.
Yes, the Epcotans or Epcoters or Epcoterans, and so we're apparently the Terrans is what they call us.
In
Go ahead.
The cinematic universe, everybody has a different name for Earth because of where they come from. Like only we call it Earth because that's what we think it's called. But if you're from outer space,
you might not know the name.
They wouldn't know that this is called Earth. They call it Terra, not Terra like a T-A-R-A, like a girl's name. Terra as in Earth, T-E-R-R-A. So we are Terrans to them. But then if you ask Thor, we're like one of the, I forget what realm we are. Anyways, they have a different name for Earth, for Thor people. So yeah, we have different names as human beings. Okay, don't snore. I'm being cool.
No, actually,
love me.
I'm amazed you actually know all that.
Yes.
I just, the whole backstory and
anyway, it's a really good ride.
Cinematic universe. Yeah, no, don't miss out on it. Definitely don't snooze on it. Go if you're a little bit worried, take some Dramamine, then go on the ride. And
I am fairly prone to motion sickness, especially on like video screen / sim kind of rides. I actually am more okay on, like, I can ride the teacups pretty much without issue, but some of them, like Body Wars, if anybody remembers that, used to send me to the showers.
Elizabeth Shue.
Send me to the showers?
Yeah,
what?
like I was.
Dang it, Ian!
Wow.
And even the old Star Tours before they redid it, like I would get out and just be like, ugh.
Oh yes, Nerd Jimmy, because he's a Disney nerd. See what I did there?
Wow.
Thor in Thor's world, Earth is called Midgard. Thank you.
Okay.
Because
do you think
Thor's
Jimmy
from Asgard? We're from Midgard.
Do you think we can get as many mentions on Jimmy's podcast as he gets on ours?
sounds like some kind of
Wow. Anyway,
Hey,
nerds
got to stick together, yo.
it's true, yo. So yeah. Check it out. Good stuff. Lots of videos online. And actually, I still have some stuff I have not put up yet. So we'll keep the content flowing. When is what?
When's Tron opening?
Like
what I want.
Next year sometime. But they actually were running full runs of it from what I was seeing. So at full speed and things like that.
Yeah, I drove by there the other day and I could actually hear there was a train running somewhere. I could hear it moving around. So they must be doing some fairly good testing. It's funny. I follow, like, I don't even remember which page it is, but there's a Disney fan page. I swear to God, every day they post like some minutia update about
a new construction
canopy piece installed, and I'm like, thank you for today's daily canopy update. Like, it's just so slow. It's impossible.
No. Let me see. Breaking new canopy piece installed at Tron.
Additional brick added to
triangle. Yeah. Oh, did you see this? This is new. New trash can put out in front of Space Mountain.
Oh my God.
Breaking.
Don't say.
You know how I like my trash cans.
I know you do. So
was my favorite. I miss that guy.
I don't know when that's going to open. Sometime next year, I'll bet you. I don't see that coming. I don't see that coming this year. They're going to space it out so that that they have something to extend.
Yeah,
the 50th. Yeah, exactly.
Do you guys mind if we chat about Genie Plus for a minute?
We can.
Okay.
I would enjoy that
because there's a bit of news there too. So
is there? Really?
Hey,
really?
I'm your hard-hitting reporter.
Hold on. Hold on.
Wait, make the sound. Thank you.
This just in.
Okay. Whew.
Breaking.
All right. So we're going to do a little primer on Genie Plus, and then I'm going to tell you about the new things. So Genie Plus, for any newbies like Nicole or anyone else listening, is if you in the before times, you could stand in a standby line, or if you wanted to, you could book a fast pass and get to use a faster lineup to get on the ride. Then COVID happened. Then they decided to change the whole world. And now it's a thing called Genie Plus, and it's not called Fast Pass anymore. That's a lightning lane. Why did they change the name? It doesn't mean anything different, but that's what they call it now. So if you decide not to do any lightning lanes, you can just all day stand in your standby lines, and the Genie Plus section of the app is just going to give you silly little tips like, hey, why don't you go get an ice cream? Like useless tips.
Right.
But if you want to pay $15 per person per day, so think of Ian's family with 6 kids, $15 per person. How much is that? That's a lot of money.
It's like $1 billion.
It's like $10,000 probably. You can
between that or a bottle of water. It's like,
yeah. So you can pay $15, and that just gets you into have access to booking Lightning Lane. So that morning you pay your $15 and you wake up and you're like, okay, what's my first Lightning Lane pick of the day going to be? Oh, Space Mountain. Okay, boom, booked that. Now they have made it official. This is the news, is that it has to be your next Fast Pass, Genie Plus, Lightning Lane, whatever the heck you want to call it. Oh my God. You have to wait 120 minutes before you can book your next one.
So that's a big deal.
Right.
Honestly. So and that honestly is going back to the way that things used to be with the paper fast passes, where once you got your paper fast pass, you were like essentially locked out of the system. You'd put in your card and it goes, yeah, it's not your time yet, and you'd get like a reject.
So
notice.
Just as an example, let's say first thing in the morning, you're like, okay, I'm going to pay my $15 for everybody in my family. Cool. Now I have access to book these things. Okay, so at 8 in the morning, you book a lightning lane for the Haunted Mansion. But your return time, it says, okay, cool, you got it. You can use that, but you can't go to the Haunted Mansion until 1 o'clock today. So that's your return time that you get to go in that faster lightning lane lineup to go on Haunted Mansion. You have to either wait, whichever comes first, 120 minutes, so 2 hours, or you ride the ride. So whichever comes first. Then you can book your next lightning lane for the day. But what stinks about this is you've paid $15,
Right.
and then you get a good time for your first ride, and then you wait 2 hours. Cool, I'm ready to book my next one,
And all the good stuff's gone. Yep. Yeah. That's
like, it's just like, oh, good, we can ride on a little thing that goes around in a circle, and you spent this $15. So that kind of stinks.
See, where before you weren't paying the $15, so it was just kind of like,
it was
okay,
like,
well,
oh,
that's what it is.
What we could, it was free.
That's what it is. Let's go
But
watch
now that
Cosmic
you're-
Ray.
Now that you're paying $15, that kind of stinks.
Sunday
Then
Yeah.
there's
So
like
Disney-
the level.
Disney came out. I'm sure you guys saw this. Disney came out and said, like, expect to get only
2 to 3.
2 to 3 rides out of your $15. That's what they said.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was just sort of poor press out of the gate in what to expect, or if they, once it was in practice, it didn't perform the way they thought it would. I don't really know, but
I don't know.
I mean,
And then-
paying $15 for one ride, like for a premium lightning lane.
Yeah.
$15
So
for
there's
the other
so
one's
that's
not that bad.
$15 per person per day, and good luck to you. Book as many as you can. Some of them might be crappy rides that you didn't even need one.
I mean, I was
for,
just about to say that. The big problem is you're only going to get one, like, real
Top tier ride.
one top tier ride.
So you better pick the one you want to go on
Yeah,
first
'cause
thing
you're
in the
not. I
morning.
mean, we did. So we only tried it once. I mean, like, we don't go, like, whatever. We go, we get on what rides we can, we leave. It doesn't really matter. But like, we tried it once just because I wanted to be able to speak to it, and we booked Haunted Mansion. I think was what we got first, and that was at 9:15 or something. Let's just say, and then like our next fast pass that we could get was 3 p.m. and it was like Carousel of Progress or something. You know what I mean? Like and that was
something
it.
ridiculous.
Like,
You didn't need it.
that was the best option left.
Dumbo. And then there's another level above that that's typically like newer, like good rides, like the Flights of Passage or Rise of the Resistance, or all of these like really fancy rides. They have, we just in my family call them the fancy rides, but it's like the individual lightning lanes, and those are, give us another $15 for just this ride.
Just this ride, if you want to go on it. Right,
And
but how
give
does
you
that?
time to come
I don't
back.
know how that works. That doesn't mess with your
Other
regular
$15?
lightning lane. So if
No.
you purchase them, you can purchase them. By the way, just a strategy for you folks. Okay, book your first ride or whatever, and then go on your second favorite ride and go wait standby to start your day, and then go do your lightning lane as your second ride of the day within your window. It usually works out pretty well, especially if you get there at park opening.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to,
If you're going at a busy time of year,
got to
get
be a
there
little theme park
right at
commando.
rope drop in the morning.
You got to be there. You got to do that.
You know, I think though the one thing that I don't think I've ever hidden the fact that I don't like this system. And so the one thing that I really dislike about it is, well, I don't, to be candid, I never even really liked Fast Pass that much. Like, it was okay, but I don't know. Why can't people just freaking wait in line? Like, it just irks me. Just
To
wait.
be
That's
quite
what people did
honest,
for
when we were there
50
in the
years.
summer and there was no lightning lanes because it was like all COVID
Yeah,
and that stuff
it
and
was
everything,
the lines were
it was
short.
back to just being standby the way it was in the olden days. And Space Mountain had like a 10-minute wait.
Yeah.
Because when
So
you
that's
have
my
one
beef.
line of
Because
standby and you're just standing and they're letting all these other people go, then this standby line becomes 7
Right.
hours long because they
Right.
got to let all these other
That's my
people.
issue, because see, with Fast Pass, it was billed as like you get a return window, and then you come and you'll have like a brief wait, and like, but it's more like priority boarding. Like Lightning Lane people, they paid. So they were originally kind of waiting in long lines. In fact, if you probably remember, there were a lot of stories about like the Lightning Lane lines being longer than the standby lines sometimes. Well, they changed that, and they changed it by just sending all the Lightning Lane people in. So like Trish and I got in line for Buzz Lightyear. We were at Magic Kingdom for the day, just the two of us a couple weeks ago. And like the Buzz Lightyear line was, you guys will know what I mean. Like, you know, when it queues out the door, right? And it goes down kind of in front of the line, and then it goes back, and then, you know, it can have a couple switchbacks. Well, it was really just back to kind of the first corner, which is typically like a 10-minute wait tops.
Yeah.
So we got in line and we waited like 12 minutes and we hadn't moved like at all.
Because they're letting all the Lightning Lane people.
They're letting all the Lightning Lane people. Yeah.
Yep.
They left. So we left. I mean, it just was, you know, it wasn't going anywhere. Like it just, see, before they used to go through they would board, you know, I don't know what the magic number was, probably depending on how busy it was, you know, 15 fast pass people, then 15 standby people.
Yep.
Now they might board 70 Lightning Lane people before they let anybody in from the standby.
No, because people have paid now.
Because they paid, exactly, and the expectations are different.
Whole different, yeah, exactly.
It was. I mean, again, I've been very clear. It was poorly thought out. The way this works is the way Universal does it. You charge a prohibitively large amount for it, so very few people consume it, and it manages the volume much. This is too cheap. So many people buy it; it's just useless. You've essentially split the line, you know,
into two lines, exactly.
But it's not good enough. Like, because so what? You got on a couple of rides with a minimal wait. The rest of the time you're waiting 3 times longer than you would have under normal circumstances. It's just, it also sort of artificially bypasses like the more natural line balancing that you would see. Like, you know, with no fast pass, you know, people look at wait times and they're like, all right, well, I'm going to go, you know, wait on this thing that has a short wait time. So the time for that builds up, all the other ones dwindle, and then they fill up, and it kind of evens crowds out. You know, if 300 people have Lightning Lane reservations for Haunted Mansion, they're all going there, and that's it. It don't matter. So I just don't like it. I think it's a bad system. I think most people who have used it are disappointed in it at best, and, you know, sort of ambivalent about it at worst. So I think to me, if you want to do this to monetize it, you do it like Universal.
Do it like Universal, where here's your max pass for the day.
Yeah, but
it's anything you want in the fast pass line once. Go.
But it sometimes costs more than the admission. Like, you might pay $150 to get in, but your max pass is $225. Like, it just keeps the
right. But by
is it really that much now?
Yeah.
Man?
Yeah. But by making
other than holiday times,
you can't you make it worth something. Like, now there's hardly anybody in that line. You can walk right on. I will admit that when I was in Florida a few weeks ago, I did splurge and get like the unlimited max pass or unlimited, what do they call it at Universal?
Universal Express.
It's not max pass, it's
Express.
Yeah, it's Express Pass. And yeah, Julie and I would like get off Harry Potter's, go back on, get off Harry Potter's, go back. She just wanted to do Harry Potter all day long.
If you got some extra coin, it ain't bad.
That's all we did. So I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to splurge and do it.
We did that.
Our annual passes come with that daily. Like, we can, after 4 p.m., we can max pass every attraction in the park once. You know, so like I can do that every day. So it's
a Florida resident annual.
I really love that Universal offers that option. You know, it's really a nice perk to their passes.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, because they didn't align, annual passes came out after they launched Genie Plus. I'm sort of hoping they do something for pass holders when the next round of renewals comes out. So, but I'm not,
if ever,
not holding my breath.
Yeah. By the way, I think Universal just raised ticket prices from what I saw. So there you go. Yep. And yeah, Ian is a Florida resident now. Yes, he is. Just for the record. So other stuff. So I sold my DVC.
Yes.
Which is many people are shocked.
No.
And I mean, some people are, because, I own a Disney website. I go to Disney events and stuff like that. And people were like, oh my goodness, you sold your DVC. Here's why, because people have actually asked me why. First of all, it's a seller's market right now. At least it was for people who have low point contracts, which we did. Okay, so full disclosure, I had 60 points. I didn't have a ton of points. So it was good. I mean, good for what we wanted, but I didn't want to get too heavy into it. Plus, my dad has DVC points and things like that. But anyway, yeah, it just kind of started looking at it, and with all the stuff that we had over the past few years due to COVID and just other things, life in general, it's like it became very hard to use it at the time of year where we wanted to use it. And to try and string together days, and then to find, for us, you really had to do like pretty much a studio in order to maximize your point value and things like that, and trying to find when we wanted to go, and we couldn't do anything spur of the moment. And we are like spur of the moment people. We are just really not into planning things 2 years out. We just don't do it.
Not for you.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it might be, okay, well, we've got a weekend open next month and the schedule is opened up. We'd like to go down there and stay. Let me go look on the points.
You couldn't get anything for 60 points, and everything was gone. Yeah,
it was gone. Or you could only get 2 bedrooms or villas or something like that. So essentially, I think we paid around $4,000 when we originally bought into it. I want to think it was all 8 years ago, something like that, and just sold it for just under $7,000.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah,
we've used in the past, like I've never been a Disney Vacation Club member, but we've used in the past where you can rent the points.
Now, see, that would make sense if you could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jen and I do that quite often when we come down for like ICOT events and stuff like that. But, and I've told a couple people that I know, like, oh, go rent some points, and you get so much, like, especially if you're going with a large group, you're getting like an apartment.
Yeah, and there are deluxe accommodations.
Cost effective as it used to be, though. With the way prices have gone up, the rental costs are a lot higher than they used to be.
Yeah. They're not what they used to be, but still, like, I can get like a studio, say, which is just basically a normal hotel room, essentially, but a studio for, I don't know, say $1,600 for it, and at like Animal Kingdom Lodge. Whereas if I tried to rent a room, I don't think I would get it for that cheap. Like, it always, I don't know, Jen and I would look at it and it would always seem like it was like,
I think there's still some value in there for doing that. And by
I think maybe if you do a studio and you can buy a smaller amount of points, that may be true. I mean, obviously we need larger accommodations, so
you think?
For us.
Yeah, no kidding. Jimmy thought I should have kept my points and rented them out, but the reality is, the other part of the story that I didn't tell was that at the same time where I did that, one of the other reasons why I sold it too was that we're getting solar on the house here, and I'm actually paying cash for it. So we sold our Christmas holiday light spectacular, the Oglensky family holiday light spectacular, at the same time that we did this, in order to kind of take a big bite out of the chunk
on the roof
that it's gonna cost, to put the panels on the roof and stuff. That's like good. That. But yeah, so for those curious, the light show is moving to Texas, and
That's
once
so
it's
awesome.
Once it's,
and you were showing that the place where it's going is so nice. And they already have the show, but you're adding to it. That's really nice.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. So it's like one of those things where we worked on, like Jennings Osborne on a much smaller scale. We built up a reputation over the course of 20 years of doing the light spectacular around here and also in Maryland. And so it was nice to be able to keep it all together, sell it to somebody, and I'm actually going to go down, I think sometime before the end of the year and help them set it up. And I hope that becomes a kind of a regular thing where we kind of go help them out and do the kind of thing. Yeah, they focus on kids that have one parent and stuff like that. They run camps, and they're doing a lot of good work down near the Texas-Mexico border down there. So yeah, it's kind of cool to be able to do that. But yeah, so that was kind of a little impetus, besides the fact that it just every year it just had become a struggle. And plus we're so busy. Like, we are so stinking busy. It's not funny. I thought, being 55, like, things would start slowing down. And if anything, they've sped up in some ways. So anyway, on to more Disney stuff besides the DVC. Did you guys see where, and this is an area where I'm not an expert at all, but apparently they're breaking the Galaxy's Edge timeline. Did you see that by introducing characters?
I didn't read the story, though. I did see it, but I didn't read it.
Apparently, they're bringing Darth
bringing
Vader
in people who don't belong in Batuu into Batuu. And some of the nerds are having like, because maybe they're from a different timeline or a different time or something. Yeah. Or the future or the past or whatever, or they wouldn't have been there according to the story of Batuu. And yeah,
I think that's a
if you brought Boba Fett in or something, or what the man, I don't know. See, I don't know which ones belong there and which ones don't.
It would be like, why are you bringing Darth Vader in when Kylo Ren is all over that place?
Right. That kind of stuff. Yeah, exactly. So, well, but
there's worse things to be mad about.
That wouldn't happen at JK's Wizarding World, let me tell you.
Well, true.
So apparently it's a limited time only kind of thing. So anyway, I just saw that.
Calm down.
Calm down. Yeah, calm down.
It's limited time. It's fine.
Limited time. It will be okay.
They don't care about that kind of stuff anymore. Like,
oh yeah, remember in the old days when they used to say like, like the stuff you can buy in Galaxy's Edge because you're like on a different planet, so all of the gift shop stuff is going to be like you can only get it there. Now it's like all over the parks and every park, and it's here. Want a Wookiee mug?
You can buy Haunted Mansion merchandise in Epcot now, and like they don't care about any of that kind of stuff. They just anything.
Actually, you know what? I will say that was the one thing that for the Treasures of Xandar that was a little bit refreshing, is that it was specific to that and only that.
For now,
and I like that. We're right. Yeah, until
give it 3 months, and I'll be able to buy it at
like the
camera shop on Main Street, USA.
That may be the case. I don't know. I actually like that. I used to like it when you would go to specific stores, and specific stores stock certain merchandise, and you knew, I love that stuff that they have. I love the stuff that they. And now it's just like, like you said, the same.
Well,
stuff.
I think even more disappointing is that it's the same stuff they have at Target, and like Walmart. I mean, except obviously you're going to, Disney World merchandise, but it's not, used to be like they used to have really unique.
I agree. It used to be fun doing that kind. And again, that was what made me want to buy the Epcot jacket and the jacket for Star-Lord. It was just, one of those unique things. And like Carolyn's shirt. Yeah. That she's glowing in. A big news over at Animal Kingdom is that Finding Nemo, The Big Blue and Beyond is doing a press premiere this weekend.
So on it's a totally 11th. Different show now.
New show. Yeah. And Cindy Giacomo will be there with 3 guests. And covering the grand opening and checking it out and filming some footage and posting it to the socials. So
that was always a cute show. I liked that.
I agreed 1,000%. It tugged at the heartstrings.
It did. But I mean, did you find, because it's people running around, but they're holding these giant puppets, and you really do tend to ignore the person standing there and like look at the puppet. It's crazy.
1,000% true.
I remember actually the very first, John will remember this. The very first time I saw this show was on probably the 15th, John, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
10, I don't know, one of the two. And it was like John, and I feel like I'm almost invoking the name of a long lost compatriot, but Gary O'Brien, and the three of us in there.
Right. We were down close, right?
Yeah. We
you all come out being like,
no. So we're like,
I'm not tearing up. You're tearing up.
Like, I'm not crying. You're crying. You know, like we're like,
I just got something in my eye. All right.
Whole big like not my dad sequence. You know,
yeah, that was
we're all away from our kids, and we miss our kids, and like we're all. I look over, and John's like,
yeah, I'm like, I don't know, something allergies.
Gary's like, you're crying, and I'm like, shut up, you're crying. Like, I was like,
it's sub-Saharan dust. No, we were a bunch of, all of us being dads, like it hit you a little bit. So, and plus we were really close, and you could see the acting going on really close up. It was good. So I'm really anxious to see what the show is going to be like. It opens to the public on the 13th. But we will have some exclusive content on all the we will have some exclusive content
perfect
on all of our socials. So if you're not following along, now is the time to do so on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the TikTok.
Yes. Because every time I go to Disney, I don't even post anything on my own Instagram anymore. If you ever want to see my vacation,
just go look on INTERCOT.
Just go look at INTERCOT. It's fun.
Well, we had one video on our TikTok that went viral, which was we were doing the Fiery Mustafarian, where they were explaining it to me and things like that.
A drink, right?
A drink on the Galactic Star Cruiser, and we had about 900,000 views on that, and we gained about 3,000 followers.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's fun, and there's some cool little pieces of content over there that you don't see everywhere.
Post a lot of little ride clips and videos too. So if you're ever sitting at your desk at work being like, I wish I was at Disney World today.
Just pop over.
Tune in, watch a little 60-second little snippet, and you'll feel better.
Yeah, go to the Facebook feed and hit the video tab and just tune in. Tune in and tune out, man. Turn on and tune out. Dude.
Rip the knob off.
Yeah, that's it. What is it?
John and our radio days. No, they don't even really use knobs anymore on radios, do they?
Yeah, what is it? Tune in. Yeah. Tune in and jerk the knob off.
No, John, that's not what they said.
That's what they totally said. Yes, they did. WDVE Pittsburgh. Tune it in and jerk the knob off.
This show has gotten
I'm gonna have
way out of control.
And then you hear the sound, of the knob coming off.
John's talking about jerking the knob off.
And you're talking about pounding stuff.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Family show.
Having formerly watched rock or have been in rock radio and stuff like that, I guarantee you that did happen. Yeah. All the time.
I once threw a rock at a radio. Does that count?
Yeah. 93.3 WMMR. Phil. So what else is going on? Summer House on the Lake is coming to Disney Springs in 2023. It's going to be located on the west side of Disney Springs, and it'll be in the space formerly held by Bongo's Cuban Cafe. So check that out. Bongo's Cuban Cafe in the west side.
The summer house thing.
That's where it's going to be. It's replacing that.
Yeah, but what's there now? There's no empty space.
There is. Bongo's Cubic Cafe. It used to be
Bongo's
there.
has just been sitting there
It's
empty.
just been sitting there empty.
Just a
Yeah.
vacant building.
Where is it? It's gotta
It's
be all
near.
the way
It's.
down
I think it's near
All the way
Splitsville.
down near Splitsville.
Mhm.
The
Yeah,
Cirque
down
du
near
Soleil
Stark. There's
down
that
there.
one spot. I know where you're talking about. There's
Yep.
that one spot where it does on the left. It's like after House of Blues, I guess.
Yeah.
Other just quick takes. Heather says,
Oh, they
tore
tore
it
it
down.
down. Well, it shows how
Oh.
often I go down there. I knew it
Well.
closed, but I didn't know they tore it down.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, I knew there was no
Thank you, Heather.
empty buildings, so they must be actually constructing it.
Yeah. Let's see what other quick hits here.
Oh, I know where it is now. It's those construction walls that are down by the.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hoop-Dee-Doo review returning June 23rd. Make
I'm
reservations.
gonna go
now.
see that.
Yeah,
Yep.
I haven't been there since the 90s. I want to see that again.
Yeah, me too. My kids have never seen it, and like I don't know. After the demise of the luau, I'm wondering how long it'll survive. So I think we're gonna go check it out.
That's a tip for Nicole, your friend Nicole.
Oh,
If
Go
she
see
can
that.
make reservations for it, that is just good old fashioned. That is some good old fashioned family
but
fun.
clean
Clark.
family fun. It's
Clark.
it's at the Fort
Pioneer
Wilderness
Hall.
Resort.
Yep.
On Disney property, you go to that resort. They have like a whole building called Pioneer Hall, and it's like a cowboy foot stomping. They're like girls in big
Yep.
floopy dresses, and they're
It's
like a
corny,
hoedown and like
it's silly, it's family style dinner, which actually is pretty good. The fried chicken used to be great.
yeah, it's like fried chicken, corn on the
They
cob,
get the
mashed potatoes.
audience involved in the show. It's just fun. It's like it's a complete throwback to yesteryear, but definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
It never have had a bad time at Hoop-Dee-Doo. It always a laugh, and the performers really interact. It's kind of almost like what happened in downtown Disney at like Adventurers Lounge and stuff like that, just on a different level, that the performers really interact with. They're part of the show.
Funny,
You're part of
and
the
it's good
show.
music.
It's funny. Yeah, it's really good. So definitely check that out.
I'm not sure if
go
you
ahead.
talked about this on the last podcast, but Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is coming back August 12th through October 31st. I can't believe they start the Halloween party August 12th. That's like 2 months from now, but anyways, we'll pretend it's Halloween in the summer. And have they said anything about when the Christmas party is
I don't-
starting? They haven't announced the Christmas parties yet. Okay.
I don't think I've seen that, but
No, I haven't seen it either. In fact, I don't even know if they've actually officially announced. I know they announced the return of Mickey's Not So Scary. Oh yeah, they do have dates because I remember talking with you guys about the having one overlaps on the 25th. But yeah, I haven't seen anything on the Christmas party yet.
Okay.
as we're running out of time, coming up on our 9:30, the Eat to the Beat concert lineup has been announced. Go check that out online. Epcot International.
Oh, yeah.
Food
Good shows
Festival.
there, John.
Yep, it's going to be running July 14th through November 19th.
Oh, that's a long.
Can't wait.
Oh.
Can't wait to
And is
see.
it
There's
the
some
usual-
really good packs coming.
It's the
It's all-
usual assortment of
A lot of usuals, although there are a few names missing. One of them, Philadelphia's own the Hooters, not there this year, so that kind of bums
what
me out a
about
little
Davy Jones from the Monkees? Is he
No,
still-
he's
Yeah.
he's
Oh, is
dead.
he dead?
Yeah.
No, didn't they?
No, he's dead.
Is
And
Mickey Dolenz dead too?
no, Mickey Dolenz is alive.
Okay.
Oh no,
Peter-
Mickey Dolenz is the only one alive. Peter Tork's dead. Mike Nesmith is dead, and Davy Jones is dead. Davy
We're
Jones
dating
was the
ourselves
quick one
here.
to die.
Yeah.
I believe.
All right, real quick. We did say to Nicole we were going to answer a question. Disney first timer here, taking kids 8, 8, and 7.
She's
Two kids
twin
and
boys,
Oh,
twin
that
boys, and a daughter.
I have twins too, by the way, Nicole. They're girls, but I've done Disney with twins myself.
And Disney in December. We
She's
have
going
previous
between
podcasts in
Christmas and
regard.
New Year's, so God bless
Oh, God,
her.
love her.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. And
Pack your
So,
patience.
Pack your patience. Yeah.
With, as far as what rides are suitable for kids that age,
You
most
got
of them
to-
except for the coasters.
Yeah, you've
Well,
got to
depends on your
decide
kid.
what you think that your kids can handle.
Yes.
I will say, Nicole,
point.
that the roller coasters and the thrill rides at Disney are not like, and we're Canadian here, they're not like Canada's Wonderland that are like rinky dinky and oh my God, we're all gonna die fall fair type things. They're
Yeah.
very smooth and stuff. So if you think the boys could handle just going fast, but feel very secure and smooth and stuff, then they would be fine. Just you can even search for the height requirements and then measure your kids and see how tall they are. And really, if they're tall enough for the ride, they would be fine.
They
for that
probably
ride.
are.
I'd recommend starting them out on, so like they have a couple of kiddie coasters. So like at Magic Kingdom. So I'm assuming that your kids have never been on roller coasters before. For all I know, they're thrill ride nuts and that you may be like, shut up. But in case they're not, try like Well, it used to be Goofy's Barnstormer. I think they call it something else now, but it's in Fantasyland there. You can try them on that.
Goofy's Barnstormer.
Is it still?
Yeah, the great.
I think
Yes, it's still called.
Yeah, see how they go on that. See how they do on
like
things like
30
Dumbo
seconds
and-
long. It's very
It's
simple.
like, Big Thunder Mountain is another one. Like one of my twins.
Mine Train.
She's a super chicken. She like won't do anything, but she'll ride Big Thunder Mountain. So you can kind of ease them in on some of the smaller stuff. I mean, Space Mountain is in the dark, so it tends to scare kids.
That scared me at age 8.
Yes,
People
it's
roller
not,
coasters.
and you sit by yourself, like
You
everybody
do.
sits in a chair in front of each
That's
other.
tough
So
for little kids. So you might want to skip that one. Must-dos for kids that old. I mean, girls or boys, Carolyn?
2 8-year-old boys and a 7-year-old daughter.
Okay, so like if I don't know whether your daughters are into princesses or not, but there's a Little Mermaid ride that she'd probably like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What else?
Honest to God, like
Bear.
anything.
Frozen.
I always used to just go by the height requirements, and I'd be like, well, if you're this tall, then it must be fine for kids your age. And
Pooh Bear, Speedway, Laugh Floor Comedy Club, all those things. Tiki Room, Pirates will be fine, probably. If I would imagine they'll be all right.
And even like at the other parks, like Animal Kingdom, just check the heights because there's rides like
Jungle Cruise during the day,
like Soarin' at Epcot and Flights of Passage at Animal Kingdom. They're thrilling and they're like, wow, I'm flying, and they're really neat like that.
Right.
But they're not like fast and scary.
Frozen.
Yeah, there's just height requirements because of the thing that you got to sit in. But
Even the Runaway Railway is.
Oh, Runaway Railway is great. They'll love that.
That kind of stuff.
Ratatouille is super fun. Epcot. Frozen and Epcot really good. You got to take them on the classics. So don't miss Haunted Mansion. Don't miss Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well, Haunted Mansion, be prepared. They may have their eyes closed through half of it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like,
you never know.
It's nothing like
They're
or
friendly ghosts. Just tell them.
They're goofy, silly ghosts. Is what
Silly
you have
ghosts.
to remember.
That's exactly what my parents.
We used to call it. So when my oldest was little, we actually used to call it the funny ride, because we told her the ghosts were funny, and so that's like.
It's like Little Splash Mountain and Big Splash Mountain. We told our kids that there was no big drop.
Oh, you big liar! That's a big lie.
Yeah, that was.
Oh no, the ride we're going
and
on.
We went on
behind
it.
This
It's the you see down below here. That's Little Splash Mountain, and then the back there. That's Big Splash. We're just going to go on Little Splash Mountain.
That's just
and then they get to the top, and they're like,
but they loved it. They loved it. So
I mean, it could have gone bad for you, John. That's good. So I think, Nicole, hopefully we gave you some stuff to go on. Real quick, you said you wanted to do character meals. So, you got Crystal Palace is the good one.
They don't do characters right now at Crystal Palace. Maybe
I think
they
they're
will
back,
by
actually,
December.
aren't they?
They weren't.
Taco cheese.
So Julie and I ate there.
Character dining coming back, so she's not going to December. It'll almost certainly be back by then.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Cinderella's Royal Table is a good one.
Yep. I think we covered most of it.
Yeah. Okay.
We got to wrap anyway. It's time. So, hey everybody. Nice work.
Thank you for being radiant this evening. We all enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shout out to Jimmy Horn for all his support and commentary during the podcast.
Jeez. Don't really. To give him another mention.
Sure,
Be sure and give the folks at Magical Journeys a call today or tomorrow, or email them now, and they'll get back to you tomorrow. Because those bookings for 2023 are now open as of today. Hotel stays, packages, etc. Give them a call. They'll be able to tell you what's available.
And they don't just do Disney. They do
No.
Universal and lots of other things.
And
so.
cruises, and not just Disney cruises as well. So definitely give Nancy and crew over there a ring. I keep saying a ring, but it is 2022. Send them a note on their website. Send them a text and messenger.
On the World Wide Web.
On the World Wide Web. Right. Give them a ringy dingy. Anyway, we thank them for sponsoring us and helping us bring the magic to you for these 25 years. Go to intercot.com and sign up for our meet and greet at Planet Hollywood coming up this October. That'll be a great time. And other than that, we hope to see you in a shorter amount of time than a month and a half or whatever it's been since the last time. Episode 150 is in the can. For Carol and Ian, I am still John. Bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.